The United States and Israel are launching airstrikes across Iran. President Trump says the US and Israel have launched major combat operations. Donald Trump says the objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime. He says Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, and he accuses the Republic of trying to rebuild its nuclear program. The president has also said there may be American casualties as a result of the operation dubbed Epic Fury by the Pentagon. The retaliation has started from Iran. Bahrain says the US base has come under attack. The United Arab Emirates, Kuwait and Qatar also report that they have had missiles fired into their countries, with reports of explosions in the Saudi capital Riyadh. In a video statement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the attack is to remove an existential threat to his country. We've been hearing air raid sirens across Israeli cities. Israel's Defense Minister Katz has declared a special and permanent state of emergency, closed the country's airspace, and all schools are closed. Israeli defense forces warn they have identified missiles being launched by Iran towards Israel, and their defense systems are trying to intercept them. The combat operation has reportedly been planned for months. The strikes are across multiple locations. Media reports say blasts have been heard in Isfahan, Karaj, Kermanshah and Tabriz. Mehrabad Airport, just outside Tehran, has also come under attack. Smoke can be seen coming from buildings in Tehran, and people have reportedly been running away in panic. An Iranian official told the Reuters news agency that Tehran's retaliation and the response will be crushing. Iran's Supreme Leader Khamenei is reportedly not in Tehran, and Iran's president is described as safe, but 7 missiles have hit the presidential palace, and there have been strikes around the Supreme Leader's compound. The attack follows weeks of tension in the region, with US forces massing around Iran. Let's listen to what President Trump's statement from Mar-a-Lago said.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again, they can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, We obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world.
President Trump there.